Yeah, Alex, before dropping out over the weekend, Eric Swalwell had raised more than $7 million for his gubernatorial campaign and had secured some high-level endorsements, like from the California Teachers Association and SEIU, both of which pulled their support as the allegations came out. So what comes next for all that support? I asked political experts.
Republican strategist Rob Stutzman says the groups that had backed Eric Swalwell aren't rushing to fill the void left by his exit.
I think at the moment they're trying to catch their breath and assess what's going on. They can't make another misstep to their members.
Democratic strategist Andrew Acosta says donors who feel burned by Swalwell may not re-engage at all.
Smart money, people are going to wait a little bit before they just jump on the next person.
According to the latest numbers from the California Secretary of State's office, billionaire Tom Steyer leads the pack of frontrunners by a wide margin in fundraising, with more than $121 million, almost entirely his own money. Matt Mahan is second at roughly $12 million. Steve Hilton and Antonio Villaraigosa are nearly tied, each raising just under $7 million. But Stutzman says Steyer's massive spending hasn't delivered the results one might expect.
Steyer has spent north of $115 million on ads, and he hasn't pulled away from this field, which suggests people have seen a lot of Tom Steyer, and they're not exactly thrilled about it. So he's built name ID that could serve him well.
Political analyst Paul Mitchell says the math problem for Democrats hasn't gone away.
There is potentially a reset, and the challenge for Democrats is that we still find ourselves in this same basic math function. 40% of votes are going to go towards the Republican candidates, 60% of votes are going to go towards the Democrats. And there's still 7 Democrats who are trying to split up that pie.
Mitchell says candidates like Xavier Becerra and Antonio Villaraigosa are now spending their reserves early, hoping to become the next destination for Swalwell's institutional money before ballots go out. Meanwhile, he says Swalwell's progressive supporters might find an ideologically similar candidate in Steyer or Katie Porter.
At some point, Katie Porter's got to spend money, and how and what she does and what she says in those ads are going to be a big tell to see if she can actually, move from 10 to 18.
Meanwhile, Stutzman says San Jose Mayor Matt Mahan's super PAC is claiming a big fundraising weekend and promising $14 to $15 million in new spending over the next week and a half. Ultimately, all 3 analysts agree new polling in a post-Swalwell field will likely inform where the big money moves next.
All right, Becca Haubecker joining us right now. Becca, we've talked a lot about, is there a chance of 2 Republicans making it to the November election? With Swalwell out now, does that math change at all? Does it move the needle?
Interestingly, both the Democratic and Republican strategist I spoke with said Swalwell's exit actually makes a 2 Republican race less likely because it helps Democrats consolidate. And Stutzman pointed out that President Trump's endorsement of Steve Hilton, which splits rather than unifies the Republican support, was welcome news for Democrats.
All right, Becca, thank you so much. It's something we are going to continue to follow, and still ahead in our